Good evening and welcome to TalkWrite. I am one of your hosts, Nick Sullivan, here from my command center with my laptop and everything. My other host, the main host, is hiding out in his bat cave. You're going to see a very special TalkWrite. And we have with him, well, you know what? Let's just leave this all up to Wayne Stennett. Give us a full intro.
Hey, thanks, Nick. I'm here at my local gym, Stay Strong Fitness, and this is the gym owner, Sam Hoster. Sam and I just, well, we didn't just finish. We finished it, what, 3 months ago?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Finished it a long time ago. And it was just released, no collar tank top. And it chronicles my personal adventure over the last, well, not over the last 2 years, but over the first 18 months of the last 2 years, since I started coming here and working out and getting back into shape. And so when we released the book, I thought, wow, it's 2 days after we have TalkWrite. So why not come to the gym and do a remote broadcast? So this is my very first remote. I think you've done one, haven't you, Nick?
Yes, from Tennessee. I did one from Tennessee.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway.
And I'll be doing one from Bon Air in August.
Oh, excellent. Maybe I'll join you. But Sam and I started out this idea, it'll be a year ago in November. And I just had this crazy idea that I wanted to share with people. And I don't know the science of it, but I know what works because I did it. And I came in here on December 4th or 5th, early December 2021. Yeah,
It's 21.
or 2022. Yeah, 2022. Yeah, a year ago last year. But I weighed 225 pounds, and I lost a wrestling match with my 7-year-old grandson in the pool because I got winded and got out of breath. And I said, Sam, can you help me? And his response was,
Yeah, sure. What are we looking for?
absolutely.
So
Tell us a little bit about your background. Where'd you start in fitness? Well, let's go back before that.
it all kind of blends together.
It all comes together. Former collegiate football, former police officer, and gym owner. Yeah, they all come. Very complimentary.
Yeah, I think it all comes back to where I grew up. Very small rural town. There's about 1,000 people in my town, so all there was to do was work on the farm and play sports. And I, didn't really like all that sweating outside on the farm as much, so I got out of that as much as possible and played on every sports team I could, which led me, fortunately, to be a collegiate athlete. Obviously, with all of that comes a lot of rigorous training for those things, so it was always kind of part of my life. And then I ended up in law enforcement, another thing that you obviously have to pass physical requirements for. So I hung out in there, and then it was always just a hobby that stuck around, really a passion of mine. I got into law enforcement, like many people always say, to help others. And I really found that I was on the side doing personal training, and that was actually providing more benefit than my law enforcement career was, that I was doing it in the evening. And then that really,
not just financial, but I mean, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
The reason that, I could have gone to any number of gyms, but one of the main reasons I chose here was simply your attitude. Yeah. You have the heart of somebody who wants to help, and anybody who knows me, that's what I do. If somebody has a problem in their writing or marketing or whatever, they can contact me. They know I can help them, or they know I can find somebody to help them, because I'm just a Neanderthal when it comes to technology. But this guy knows the science, and it's totally changed since I was in my 20s and working out. When I was 22 years old in the Marine Corps, I was the same weight, 225 pounds, but I had a 44-inch chest and a 30-inch waist. Then I went to a 38-inch chest and a 44-inch waist, and I knew something had to happen. And thankfully, I came here. But we wrote this book with me telling one side of the story, what I was feeling, what I was experiencing, and what hurt and what didn't hurt. And then Sam would follow that up with the scientific background of why it hurts, why this is happening, what causes you to lose weight. And hey, it ain't no pills.
There's no magic bullet, unfortunately.
No magic bullet. And it doesn't have to be diet, but diet helps. I did this. I went from 225 to yesterday 188, and I haven't changed my eating habits at all. And I know you hate that.
That's all right. It's all right.
But I just figured, well, that just means I have to work a little harder. And, you know, being a Marine and, you know, being active when I was younger, I'm not afraid of work. But it was extremely hard. It was very, very hard work. But the truth is, muscle burns fat. Just even, I mean, we're sitting here, and because I have more muscle now than I did 18 months ago, I'm burning more fat than I was 18 months ago doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, 100%. I think there was, I think it kind of gets a bad reputation when we talk about building muscle, right? What do we think of typically? A meathead, you know, pushing somebody in a locker room.
You went that way.
Yeah. Silly things like that. It's been kind of, you know, over the last several decades kind of portrayed that way. That kind of role, that person that's been, you know, big lunky meathead.
Yeah.
And that's just not really simply the case. It is.
It's like that guy in the what commercial was that? Wasn't Gold Gym. It was one of the box gyms.
The Crush or the purple.
Yeah, the guy walking around with the ripped off tank top.
I pick things up and put them down.
Yes, yeah.
And that's been in time when you talk about strength training, that's the person you think of. But strength training isn't just, you know, for extreme athletes and bodybuilders and strongman competition. Yeah. But it can be. And that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I joined USA Powerlifting last year and set some records in powerlifting. And I'm almost 65 years old.
That's one of the cool things about you know, if you're watching this right now, you make sure you stay through to the end, because Wayne started on this journey, I think, for damage control, and then went, you know what? How about I shoot the moon? And did so. And it's phenomenal.
And when I first came in, I wanted to have more, just basically be able to more stamina. Because, you know, wrestling with a 7-year-old grandson in a pool, you get out of breath, and I literally almost drowned. He put me under and I almost drowned. And so that was what I told Sam my goal was. I just want to survive next summer in the pool. And then when next summer came, and you know, I was down 20 pounds and feeling good, walking every day, working out 3 times a week. And I thought, well, what else could I do? And one of Sam's coaches, Andrew, I asked him, first thing I asked him was, how much can you deadlift? And Andrew's slightly taller than me. He's about what, 5'10", maybe 6 feet.
Under 6 foot.
And 185, not a big guy. He deadlifts 500 pounds. And I was like, whoa, man, that's strongman competition. He said, no, powerlifting. And so we started talking about powerlifting. I started doing YouTube video searches and learning about powerlifting. And it's a sport that people can participate in at any age, at any sex, at any condition, and do well. And I mean, it was just fun. I went to this competition, had a blast, talked to a bunch of people, met a whole bunch of lifters, and some little kids, some little 9-year-old girls out there lifting 100 pounds. So it doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your sex doesn't matter. What does matter?
Just really your determination and willingness, consistency is what matters the most.
That's it.
Just, I'm sure it's just like writing, you know, multiple novels. You're going to hit roadblocks. There's going to be times that you're going to just feel stuck. But you just keep showing up to that process.
That's a really good analogy, because we know about that, and I'm sure quite a few authors are watching too. I mean, you don't write a novel in a day, and you don't lose weight in a day. So anything that's worth doing, you have to do it. What does I always say? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
And I really think what he just said is why he's had so much success. One thing I tried to highlight really in the book was all these extreme approaches people think when they think about getting in shape. They think, oh, I have to do a juice detox to really jumpstart my progress, or I have to go out and exercise 7 days a week, or, I got to sign up for a marathon, or whatever it is. I see all these extreme approaches, and that just leads to crash and burn, and it creates a negative feedback loop. So then you're less likely to try it in the future. What I would suggest, and Wayne's kind of taken this, is, hey, why don't we just do something that's realistic for you to do the rest of your life? You think you could come in here, for an hour out of your week. He comes in twice for 30 minutes to train, and that's what he's done. And it's kind of snowballed from there. But if you start small with that long-term perspective in mind.
And even if I just stayed with that and just not had any goal beyond that, just continue to work out and train every week, just like you said, maintenance. At NINC 2 years ago, I hurt my foot, and within months I couldn't walk. Within 2 months, I was not walking, and I got a shot of cortisone in my foot. My doctor looked over my big old belly and said, "You need to start moving, or you're going to die." So it was a wake-up call, and a lot of times that's what it takes. It takes something in your life to say, "Hey, I have to do something." Otherwise, nobody wants to, leave this earth at an early age, and even worse would be becoming a dependent to somebody else. Somebody have to take care of you, and that, to me, that was just that's not going to happen. So I just determined that I was going to change my ways, and we did, and we had a whole lot of fun doing it.
One thing too, I think that's a big thing to speak on here is, because sometimes even when Wayne was just saying it, I was, he's talking about powerlifting and stuff. I'm thinking, well, they probably don't really care about powerlifting. No. They're not going to get into that. So why would somebody, that's an author care, right, about getting into this type of shape? And yeah, I could tell you, you're going to live longer. You're going to have better time with your children, so you can actually enjoy your life to the fullest. But how about just for the selfish reason of being a better author, mental clarity, right? The physical energy to keep going.
This is the stuff I didn't know.
And it doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be done with an extreme approach where you're throwing up every day and because you worked out so hard. It's just that slow consistency, and that's going to bleed into your day-to-day routine, your work routine. It's going to be fruitful in other areas of your life other than looking nice and having nice muscles, right?
I mean, that was one of the first things I noticed, was all of a sudden within a month and a half starting to work out, I wasn't as clumsy. I mean, when you get to a certain age, Nick, you're not quite there yet, but you're getting close. You start losing balance. I mean, I couldn't stand still because my body's it didn't understand where it was. And Sam explained that to me. It has to do with your body, your muscle to brain connection. And when the connections are made and exercised regularly, your brain gets better. Your brain gets stronger. And when your brain gets stronger, you're not as clumsy. You have better balance. I have better mental recall and just mental clarity. My stories I'm not, without bragging, I think they're good already, but I think I'm writing better. And that's what's really cool.
Yeah, he made that comment to me, I think, not too long ago, that you felt like you could handle more of the workload at a higher level of performing too, which was very interesting to hear. Because a lot of people just think, oh, sports performance, right? He's got to be, doing something physically demanding or construction work or something like that, where there'd be a direct benefit, but really that mental benefit, it's going to benefit everybody. If you have to think at your job, it'll help you out.
And it goes beyond that. I mean, there's so many avoidable diseases that we don't even think about when we're Sam's age. I mean, you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof still. On the other hand, cancer is looming over the horizon. All these breathing disorders and everything, and some of those can be avoided just by being in better physical condition, by being stronger. And so strength training, it's got a negative connotation in a lot of places, and especially with women. Women are afraid they're going to get big and beastly looking.
Not gonna happen.
No, women's muscles don't grow like men's muscles, so it just doesn't happen.
No, if you're afraid of that, that you have nothing to worry about unless you intend to take anabolic steroids, in which case then you might want to.
You're not going to look like a man. You're going to look more like a woman.
Yes, you'll have more curves long term.
I tell you what, we have a question from YouTube. Let me drop it in here. And I think, Sam, this is something you might want to tackle. How about someone who is uncomfortable going to a gym? What should they do to get more comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's going to have to be a tough conversation that you have with yourself. I'm going to be Coach Sam here. I think that at a certain point, there will be a tough conversation you have to have with yourself on why are we feeling that way, and really coming to own the position we're in. But that aside, you don't have to go to a gym to start. Just start by walking around the block. Gain your confidence first. When you start to see your capabilities, then when you're a little bit more comfortable after 3 months of consistency, then worry about going to a gym. And you could even wait 6 months, because just develop the routine then that you're going to use when you go to the gym. It's going to lead to better success. You don't have to start at home. So that'd be really my first piece of advice. Just start, and then long term, really think about the mental component around it, because that is it brings out emotion when we think about weight problems or health problems, because they're usually covered in guilt and shame, and it can be tough. But if you can get real with yourself and think about, why am I in this position? What has led me to be here today? You are going to be far more successful long term. A lot of people will push that aside, and then they find themselves in these patterns. They're starting and stopping. They're training, or they're going up and down on the scale, right? And they're getting frustrated. You have to have ownership of what's led you there. It's kind of my long-winded answer on that, but just get started. You don't need to go to a gym right away.
That's exactly how I started. In November, I started walking all through November and December. I was walking 2 miles a day every day. And then finally I got to the point where I thought, okay, this is helping, but what else can I do? And one of my neighbors, real nice lady, lives around the corner. Her and her husband came here, and she recommended it. So I called Sam up, made an appointment to come in, and it was like 5:30 in the morning, which is a late start for me, if you know me at all. But I went to the office. I worked for half an hour, 45 minutes, and I came over here. Came a little bit early because I'm not familiar with this parking lot. I drive a great big honking truck. But yeah, it's ever since then, it's been a fun ride, and I can't explain it. The difference in my attitude, the way I feel, and just my attitude about life. I'm a lot calmer now, and nothing bothers me anymore, because I know that no matter what happens, I can get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to touch back onto that question earlier too. One point I forgot to make was, often if you go to a gym or a facility that's focused around strength training, and not just like a general box gym, if you're going somewhere where you're going to get a coach or something like that, those are generally some of the nicest, caring people you'll ever meet. Wayne can attest to the even just the members, not even the staff here. Yeah. If you can find the right type of facility, it should feel like a community when you come in. Yeah. And if that is, then you found the right spot. So I just wanted to add in there, because a lot of places, if you go to the right spot, it's going to feel welcoming and warm, not judgmental.
It's super cold in here. Actually, it's like 65 degrees, but yeah, it's warm. I mean, every time I come in, we're in the back building here where the 1-on-1 and 2-on-1 personal training takes place, and they have another building up front for group training. But whenever I come in back here, everybody's, hey, Wayne, we're just talking and hanging out in the sauna with people that you work out with, and then go to group training on Saturdays sometimes. And everybody's just so welcoming. It's just, they're all there for the same thing. They're trying to make themselves better, make themselves feel better, make themselves look better. I could care less about how I look. Me, I'm ugly anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I feel better, and that's the important thing. Yep. How you feel about yourself.
Well, I'm going to jump in with my own little thing that I've noticed in the last 2 weeks. I narrate books and I write, so I'm sitting in a chair a lot. I have a dog. I can walk the dog, but she's a pudgy little Chihuahua, so she doesn't go very fast. So my exercise is this just up and down swing depending on the work I'm doing around the house. You were talking about mental clarity. I noticed when I did several major jobs outside of pulling weeds and working and almost killing myself to where I'm like, is someone going to find me in my garden? But, I got my heart rate up and everything. And then I went to record. So when I record books, if I make a mistake, every time I make a mistake, it's the new punch in. So when I'm just not thinking well, all those punch ins are these little lines all close together. After I did all of this exercise, the 2 recording sessions after that, the recording sessions, the chunks but between mistakes were much cleaner. I was clearly thinking faster. That's what I'm always like, brain, keep up with the mouth. And it was
now
doing
imagine condensing that 3 or 4 hours of manual labor in the hot sun into a 45-minute session in the gym, expending the same amount of energy in an air conditioning atmosphere where you got a towel and water handy, and do that 3 mornings a week. And you have that same mental clarity, that same sharp of mind, and it continues forever. And you don't have to worry about the hot sun.
Well, here's a question. If you work out on a Tuesday and a Friday, I'm going to spread it out on purpose to make my point. Will you have the same mental clarity on Thursday? If you're working is the mental clarity you gain kind of tied directly to that workout session? Or if you're doing it consistently, is it going to be an improvement that sticks with you?
So short term, as you're getting into it, it's going to be more of that short duration, couple hours after you're going to have it for. You'll notice after you get going, it lasts a little bit longer in the day. So to answer your first, initially, no, it wouldn't be around on Thursday. However, if you were a well-trained individual, made exercise kind of a daily part of your regimen after, and I can't specifically quote a specific time, but typically when you're well-trained within a year, you're going to notice that more consistently throughout your just day-to-day life, because now that's your new baseline. It's not an irregular event that's occurring. You're used to working out, you're used to feeling good, and now you just work out and feel good.
And it's right. You're putting all that energy into a much shorter time, and just it's a burst of just huge energy. And once you're through, you get relaxed, just chill out. I like to just sit back in my recliner and write for an hour or 2, and my body is totally, absolutely relaxed. And that's when the magic happens. That's when all the little things inside your body start working and repairing and rebuilding the damage that you just did. And the body doesn't just, it's okay, let's build it back the way it was. No. Builds it back better.
Yes.
And that's the amazing thing.
Yep. It's that adaptation response. If you get a burn, you get a scab there, it's tougher the next time. It's the same thing with your body. When you work out, you exert it, put stress on it. It says, whoa, wait, we got to be ready for that next time, man. So that's what it does. It's repair. That's why that recovery is also very important. You don't go and beat yourself up every day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working out 5 days a week, but I do it. Mondays is strictly squats. I'm doing a lot of leg work and a lot of back work. Tuesday, I'm here in the gym and doing pretty much overall conditioning exercise. Wednesday is bench presses at home. So it's upper body, all upper body and back. Then Thursday, I'm back here. And same thing, just good conditioning workout. And then Friday, I'm doing deadlifts at home, lower body and back. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm resting and start all over again. Yep. So I have a long rest between the squat days, the legs on Monday, and again on Friday, and then another long rest over the weekend. So the rest is the important part. That's where your body rebuilds.
We have another question from YouTube. Let's see. So one of our viewers is asking, my husband has lost 35 pounds since April 12th. Oh, I'd like to do that. He has been eating low-cal, low-carb every 3 hours. So eating a low-cal, low-carb, I guess, snacks every 3 hours. Any suggestions on how to transition? Now, I asked the viewer, do you mean how to transition to a normal diet while maintaining the improvement? And she said yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, simply with that, it's gonna, if that's not realistic to your husband, which it doesn't sound like it is, because he's probably gonna want a cheeseburger at some point in his life.
I love cheeseburgers.
That's exactly what you're gonna want to do and instruct him to do is slowly back out of that while adding in some type of resistance training. So as his caloric need, as you start to give him more and more food, because he's coming out of his low calorie diet, he's going to be expending that energy in training, or in better words, that energy that he's consuming is going to go towards his muscles, essentially, because he just worked out and they need that energy. And that's the best way to do it. Just simply 2 days a week working out, start to add a little bit more and more, start to add in maybe a carbohydrate every other meal, and then back him out of it that way. Do not have him go full normal routine diet. He will gain lots of weight back rapidly if he does that approach. Have him slowly back out of it while adding in resistance training would be my recommendation there.
Okay, that sounds, I understood that. Don't go whole hog the other way.
Yep.
Do it slowly and try to put in some resistance training at the same time you're amping up.
Yep.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yep.
I mean, there's no other way to say it. If you do things right the first time, you don't have to do them over again. And it's the same with anything in life, whether it's writing a book or mowing the lawn or strength training or anything. If you do it deliberately and slow and take your time, get everything right, then you don't have to do it again.
Exactly.
And I'm just having the time of my life right now. It's been so much fun.
Yep. Yeah. It's that long-term mindset. That's what I keep coming back to for Wayne. I meet with lots of people all the time coming to me for weight loss. And I can tell when they're not going to have good successes if I'm meeting with them at week 3 or 6 when they're in our program, if they're still focused on the immediate quick results. They're getting results, most of the time, but if they're still only focused on, the instant results tomorrow, the 6-pack tomorrow, it's not going to come. But, how unreasonable is it to think if you focused on, getting, let's say, a 6-pack over the course of 10 years, and you did all the things for 10 years in a row, you're probably going to hit it, right? It's unreasonable you wouldn't. But if you try to condense that into 14 days, right, it's not going to happen. So it's that long-term
we all have 6-packs that you just covered up.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like, well, you got abs. Everybody's got abs. Yeah. Some of them are just covered with a little bit of fat.
Very much so.
Oh, we got any more questions there on YouTube?
Let me check. Nope. We're all clear, and it's 7:01.
Oh, perfect timing then. Well, I want to thank Sam for being on here with us, and thank you for allowing me to come to your gym and do this live. This is a live remote gig, y'all. It's cool. But this is part of the gym. I mean, this is where I work out in every Tuesday and Thursday. And Jeff puts me through my paces, pushing those sleds and slinging those kettlebells. Are they kettlebells?
Kettlebells. Yep.
Bells or balls?
Yep. Bells.
They look like a ball.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It's a Russian term.
But anyway, thank you again for joining us, and thanks for all the help on the book. And I'm really hoping that we can motivate some people and save some lives, because that's why we did it. And there's nothing else. There's no other reason. And we're not making a killing writing a book like that. But if we can change at least one person's life and get them to come into the gym. Oh, speaking of which, I meant to bring this up and almost got away with not. You've done some remote training in the past, and you're planning to ramp that back up again.
Oh yeah, yep. Actually, we recently just relaunched our remote program. So if anybody is looking for anything, basically we tell you what to do from the comfort of your own home. We have a coach checking in with you every day, and yeah, it's very successful. A lot of people like it. We have clients from thousands of miles away.
There you go.
Local, all over the place.
The viewer who was uncomfortable going to the gym, you don't have to. And you can do it. You can do it all yourself. I mean, just read the book.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. And Nick, thank you for taking over the host spot. And
Well, let me see if I can finish it off, because we need to thank our sponsors, and I wonder if I've retained them. We want to thank Down Island Press, Tropical Authors, How Not to Sail, Pirate Radio. Oh no, there's one more and I can't remember. Help me out here, Wayne.
you're asking me.
Yes, you're the one that knows. You're the one that has the
Aurora.
exercise that's created the amazing
Aurora Publicity.
synapses. What's that?
Aurora.
Aurora Publicity. Oh, I thought I did. Okay. Yes. So thanks all of you for making this show what it is. Woohoo.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.